Oh, Kissay! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. We're here, we're having fun. We didn't have party hats, but there was hats around the studio, so we put them on. We're ready, we're here. It's Kitty's birthday. One in chat to wish happy birthday to Kitty, or alternatively, type happy birthday. Thank you very much. You're looking real fine, Skimmy. What's that on your head?
Do you have to?
Yeah.
Like, is that your default?
And
I
I'm
just
also...
like tilting shock.
It's
really good now.
Awesome. We got
Trying to start a
birthday
war?
Timo here too. So Kitty's...
Captain Timo on duty.
Ain't that
It's
just
my
the
birthday. I
cutest
can
thing?
do anything.
You
I can
do
do
whatever you want.
anything I
You can do
want.
whatever you want.
You're not cringe, you're PogChamp. Remember
I
that
am.
forever.
True.
Now, look, let's jump on into the discussion. Let's talk order first. It's order versus Direwolves. It's a very important affair for both of these teams because, of course, it could have those head-to-head implications. It's the last remaining 1-1 game, and Order, they are here to get a big fat dub. Bimo, what do you think?
I do think that Order are primed to get a big fat dub, Mac, as you said. I just had to stop for a second and think, am I BMO? Am I?
Yeah.
Or am I just a B?
You're a B.
Because there's so many
No.
different Bs
I think
in
you're
League.
B Yumi,
I don't think I'm Boomy.
and I can
Are
be
you Cogmore?
I can be Bogmore.
That's B more.
Guys,
Be
we've
more?
got to talk about Direwolf. Skimmy, I know
Zix.
you're looking pretty as a nah, but tell me, why is Direwolf so damn pretty as well?
Well, the handsome individuals from top to bot. They're a stacked squad with charisma exuding. And yeah, look, great game for them. Obviously, coming into this one, both teams tied in second place at a record of 11-7, 1-1 head-to-head. This is a decider. This could be a big game to see if either team or both teams make it in second and third for the upper bracket.
And look, last time both the teams went head-to-head, the ADCs were very much in that conversation, carrying the teams to their wins. It was Puma going off, going
No, it was
crazy.
Big Hooper, wasn't
Oh, was
it?
it Hooper last
This
time?
was
It
the
was
first
this
time
one.
they faced it was Puma. This was the hectic, like, teleport in to try and end the game throw from
The
Order.
longest game of the split,
And then
45
the
minutes.
second time they faced it was the Amumu Caitlyn from Direwolves, where Bulldog had a big old roam, but then Hooper was playing
Zeri.
Zeri and was ice skating all over him.
Yeah, right. Okay, that was the crazy Hooper game when we got to see him. That was the debut, right?
Yeah, it was his debut, yeah.
He was going crazy. So, look, big game so far, and Direwolves still definitely in the conversation. But what are we expecting today? Because Direwolves, they're coming in on a loss. Order, they had a pretty good-looking game yesterday. So I guess we'll see how they both fare together.
What are we expecting? Well, I'm expecting them to focus down on the two ADCs once again because I remember saying this, that Kisei has a really good champion pool to shut down Suman's assassins.
Yeah.
And where I believe that Suman is quite limited in terms of what he can do in these team fights. And Kisei, he has a range of a variety where he can choose what he wants to play, but it will most likely be trying to shut down the mid jungle of Dials. So my eyes are really fixated onto Dante, where he has improved a lot from Split 1. Did he join Split 1?
And that one game
Yeah.
at Kaiser.
Played one game, yeah.
He did improve a lot from Split 1, and I believe that he does have decent fundamentals where he is able to carry and be put in that carry position.
Yeah, he was the sub though in Split Run, right? So he got that one game in where he had to start real late, and that's when he was still at school, and yeah, that was all fun.
Yeah, a little delayed and
He's
stuff.
a little bit older now. I think he had a birthday too, right?
He did.
Yeah. There you go. So 1-1 head-to-head, of course, you know, the final remaining one, we've mentioned it already, but when it gets down to things, if Direwolves are now starting to edge down further on the ladder, their strength of schedule is not too strong, they really want to be securing this win to try to stay above Order on the ladder, or at least, you know, get as close to that as possible, because if they have that head-to-head, then look, you stay in second, you stay in third, you get that extra chance. You're just one win away from making it all the way to DreamHack already.
Yeah, I mean, you do already talk about sort of interesting narratives, Kitty, about like, you know, mid and bot in terms of how you can sort of look to try and exploit those champion pools. I think top lane's also super exciting as well, right? Zoranis will just punish you with that Gnar, a blind Gnar pick with Lilia. He's done it twice. It's looked phenomenal. It has been a carry in its own right, but, you know, obviously Biopem's going to do the same as well. Pocket pick Zach, for instance, he can literally play anything. I always tease him. When's the Karma? When's the Lulu coming back up in the top lane? We know you love it. I'm sure you don't, but either way, they have a big big champion pool. They got quirky champion pools at the same time. So it's going to be a really interesting draft for sure.
And look, they play Nah. You look like Nah. We've got a lot of Nah on the LCO recently. But someone that doesn't play Nah because they're a jungler, of course, is Goodo. We've got him for the pre-match interview. Goodo, how you feeling? Also, happy birthday.
Happy
Heard it's your
birthday.
birthday as well.
Thank you.
both
어색해서
said
아까. Yeah,
Like-
thanks.
Well, hopefully you have a great day as well. We do know that you guys are going against Dials today, where everyone didn't expect them to do this well as we head into the playoffs. So what are your thoughts on the team, and who do you think you guys will be focusing down for the next game?
I think the schedule we have left up for the 3 games, I think this one gonna be top 1 out of 3. So this was like the important top out of 3, and I think if we just focus on ourselves, I think we just win.
Okay, so where do you see Direwolves having like the strongest point? Is it Zoranus up top? Because every time Direwolves aren't doing too well, he still seems to consistently be having a good time. So I guess Bio is the kind of person that's never going to be scared of that top lane, but what's the general feel of the team? Like, who do you really feel like you need to lock down on Direwolves today?
I think Jonas is like pretty good because like I used to play with him, like he's like main Chakula he used to be, but I think like Suman just gave them a lot of like power on mid lane, so I feel like just Suman, to be honest.
And before we end the interview, what is Goodo's favorite flavor for cake? Because this has been our Menulog discussion, and I need to know for the birthday boy.
Okay, to be honest, like I don't really like the cake, but if I have to choose one, I might just go like strawberry cake, maybe.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully you get tons of strawberry cakes after your win against Order. I mean, wait, oh my god,
He is an
sorry. Win against Styles. Sorry, it's been a long day. But hopefully you have a great day as well, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kitty. Thank you. Bye.
I wish it was my birthday. There's so much birthday love going around
Birthday to
everywhere.
birthday.
I'm just a guy with a
there's a lot of
Menulog helmet
birthdays
on.
today.
Sorry, I was thinking
Yeah,
about
if you
the
ain't-
strawberry cake, so my mind got all fuzzled up.
That happens to the best.
Happens.
of
It
us,
was on
yeah.
Direwolves, so it's fair
Mhm.
enough, right? Once upon a time.
Is it the Freudian slip?
Freudian, yeah.
Yeah. You just went back a couple of years, half a year, whatever it was.
Yep.
Either way,
Tip
look,
Direwolves, is that what that
The
slip
blip?
is?
Hmm.
Who knows?
crazy. Def Envo time. Points. Twitch. Channel. Get them. In. Kitty, if you had to put your Twitch points on one team, I'll give this another go. Which team
Can't do
would it
that.
be?
Really?
I feel really guilty saying this because I'm not gonna say that I'm biased or anything, but I didn't know it was Goodo's birthday until like a few hours before we made the prediction. So I went with Direwolves today. And me and Skimmy are still on
There's
the
something
New
about
Zealand
us
hype
together,
train.
eh? Like we always seem to go for the same teams. I'm not sure what it is, but
That's crazy.
Well,
That's
this worked
crazy.
out for me and Rusty yesterday, so I'm
Yeah, it
happy
did.
that you guys are going for that one. Like, you're not too
I'm
far
going down
behind.
with Skimmy. He's
Yeah, no
dragging me
bias,
down.
but Order are doing well.
They really are.
You know what I will say is that Orders yesterday was so slow. Like it wasn't a bad thing, but like they've done this before. They were so slow in how they play. I don't think Direwolves are going to allow that to happen. So I do think we'll have a more explosive early game, and I think with that is more volatility. So Direwolves have real chances.
Okay, well, we'll see if Direwolves are able to, stay nice and proactive through that early game. Yesterday, Direwolves, they did have, those couple of respect bands coming out from Mammoth.
Can you
But-
see?
Not much,
I just-
but I can.
Like I feel like I'm looking at a pirate. From my point of view, I've just got like
You
half
can
of
see
one eye.
I'll do this. Is that better?
Now you're just looking down on me.
But I'm a short king.
Chin up, King.
Nostril cam.
we
There's pin cam. What's going on? Anyway, look, let's talk about the game. Do we want to talk about the game or do we want to talk about the hats? Because you guys just keep on bringing the hats up. Like, I'm down to just
We need
pretend
to
they're
figure
not
out
there.
what B skin that is. I swear it was Teemo, but it kind of looks like Kog'Maw now.
It's like the
be more.
like the Lulu has like a pix type thingy. There's the small critters that are bees that aren't. You know what I mean?
They're small critters? So you're Mr. Critter?
Like like Heimerdinger on a flower has a small bee.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool, Rusty. But guess what?
Someone just tweet the
Champ
answer at us,
Select
please.
is ready.
To set you up a
We
cool
need to
story,
know.
Ladies
right?
and gentlemen, enjoy the damn game. Because I'm going to enjoy this dare.
Oh, you enjoy that dare, Mac.
Yep.
And I dare you to enjoy this game with us. How about that?
Nah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Order,
you,
left-hand
YMCA.
side. they're going to look to deny away a few of those pocket picks, right? No Akali here for Seaman, deny the first pick with a Silas, pay the tax for the Shaco, and deny also the Swain.
Yeah, so a lot of target bans here. Not specifically taken away from... I'm so nervous about the hair.
Oh.
That's all right. We're good. I will say that's not all of Seaman's champions. Like you can see, second pick Ari.
Of course.
So they've got tools still there. As for the Silas, as you would expect, to no one's surprise, that's going to get locked in. And the thing is, because Rise has been seen as a response, I wasn't sure if Seaman to play it. So being red side for Dials, maybe that's a disadvantage through draft, just knowing that you're going to get the Ari. And while I will say, thinking historically about this matchup in OS, we have seen a boatload of Aris run Ignite and just kill the Silas. You would still expect Silas to like that matchup because now you just have 5 dashes instead of 2. So you get to be mobile around the map and effectively be better Ari. But Dials have a pick composition in mind already. Order, we'll see where they choose to go.
They certainly do, and I suppose that has been something of a Direwolves trend, right, where they won't look to necessarily lock in the go-to counters in the meta, right, with the Rise or with even the Seraphine too. They've been a little bit slow to the punch with that one, but another Draven, as you say. So Puma, all's gonna have a crack at it and say, well, if Sivir is the hottest one on the menu, then this is my response as well.
Yeah, Yuumi banned away here, straight into a Nautilus pick. Nautilus quite a big fan of the Yuumi matchup, and I'm not sure that Yuumi Draven's going to be a thing, so I don't know if Dials were fully aware that this is a potential for Order, but look, half the league's now a Draven player suddenly. And I still would have said that Raze is by far the best one, but everyone's picking it up. Draven's a fun champion, so I don't blame them. It's just, it's not the only answer to Sivir. It just seems to be the one that people want. They want to win bot lane so much more. You know, they want to be able to threaten at the same range so much more. But the Sivir is a scaling pick for Direwolves. And right now, with their composition as it is currently set, I think have the makings of something like the Gwen for top lane still for Zoranus to round out their composition. And Poltron gets to play more facilitative once again. And with the Wukong gone, with the Viego banned, options start to get limited. Volibear's been nerfed. But there's still plenty of picks for Poltron. And of course, it's not going to be a Shaco angle.
Nor is it going to be a Viego. We know that his pocket pick has been a Kindred at the best of times as well. But
well, that's what we might honestly be looking at, but that depends on the top pick. Because I think if you go Kindred, you might even be looking at like a Sejuani Ornn type of champion to round out your comp. But they are attacking Poltron's champion pool here, in very specifically the jungle role.
Certainly are. And I do wonder, it does certainly feel as if we are going much more towards an AD carry-centric meta, right? With the amount of bans we're getting towards supports and whatnot. Poppy is locked in.
Yeah, like I figured Poppy be picked. It's just I haven't felt great about any Poppies in OS yet. I just feel like it's becoming a trap pick.
Yeah.
And we've said this about the Viego into the Wukong when we first were seeing 2 jungle champions only. It felt like it was a trap pick innately for Oceanic teams. And I think this is for different reasons, right? Viego's relying on proactivity from your team because you want to get those resets. You want to be super aggressive, find the pick, win the team fight through that. That's why you often see Viego and Jix in comps together. Poppy is much more like you can be hyper aggressive early, you can be super creative early, but then it's about finesse around these team fights. You want to hit big ultimates, you want to stop clutch dashes, and you're not being as proactive. And Direwolves ran into the issue of just a Poppy engage. They've fixed that.
They have, and that's the biggest thing for me that stands out like a sore thumb, right? They ran the exact same comp with the solo frontline Poppy up against Gravitas, up against Kanga, running an Enchanter support, and Lilia top. This time you got the Nautilus. This time also you're thinking, surely there's a Bruiser or even more engaged to try and supplement what you have so far, because Direwolves have pretty much this split been a poke or a pick heavy team. And they look to try and round things out here in that regard. Quickly, small note, if we look at Order as well, they've paired the Draven with a Leona, a very aggressive, engage, heavy lane. And also you can proc the Draven axes, which are already amplifying damage with the Sunlight.
And Leona's one of those champions that we haven't seen too much of, but when you see a Nautilus locked in on the other side, it still is free. Sivir can deal with Leona to an extent. And I think one of the realities of most Leona lanes is if you can deal with Leona pre-6, you can't deal with her post-6. She becomes overbearing. You can only spell shield one ability. And I feel like that makes access difficult here for Dante. Also doesn't give mana back if you spell shield now. And so the cost of using that spell shield is actually really high overall because you just get health. And you can actually really start to get pushed out of lane just by having to use spells, and Leona sits at the same range as Sivir. So there's a lot of cause for concern down in the bottom lane there for Direwolves. Order could staunch. Lots of melee champions, lots of opportunities for Sivir to auto attack come team fights, but getting there is obviously the pressing issue.
Certainly will be the pressing issue, and we've certainly seen the strength of the champion, but it's the innate ability to set up, to allow the Ricochet, to allow the Boomerang, to give you the time to cycle through not only the Kraken procs, but to allow that Phantom Dancer to charge up too and be an absolute menace to rip through the ranks of your opposition here today. Another Draven, another chance for us to be excited about the Adoration minigame, to say the least, and a chance to see Corporal flex his wings on a different support too.
Yeah, Corporal playing something a little bit less enchantery for the first time in a little while. Had a small stint on an Alistar, had a small stint on a Nautilus here and there, but overall has been sticking a bit more to those enchanters. Nautilus, of course, has actually crept back in for Direwolves very recently. And so I think they'll be somewhat familiar with the aggressive playstyle that bottom lane provides. And Puma, what you've heard about Order is that they just sit back and they just passively farm, you know, get to 4 items, win a team fight. That's not what this is built like.
Certainly isn't built like that at all, but it will give you the aggressive tendencies to be a lane bully, to say that we can zone you away from any team fights. We can guarantee ourselves a strong laning phase. We can certainly, if we can catch that check in, guarantee that when we rock up to these team fights, we will just be better. Well, let's load in for the third game of the night, a very important fixture at the top of the table. Both these teams, even Stevens, tied in second place with a 1-1 record. And a game that certainly could answer all the questions as to who will be making it into the upper bracket. Well, Series is on the line to help me answer some of those questions, and I asked the question to you. I suppose playoffs now being secured last night, how does that feel in a week which has been full of head-to-head deciders?
I mean, we didn't even realize it, honestly. It's not something that was just in our mind. For us, playoffs is just a given. If we didn't make it, it would be a huge break.
Well, talk to me then, I suppose, about this draft, because we are seeing more and more changes as we get more uncomfortable with 12-13. Last time we spoke, I was asking you what you sort of thought about 12-14 and how that's going to be a big change. But Draven is back. We're seeing more teams play that. We're seeing that, obviously, Sylas is just so popular. First pick worthy.
Yeah, obviously, with the way the sustain changes are right now and the durability patch, Sylas is just so hard to punish as a champion inherently. And Draven especially is probably just the strongest AD carry on the patch, given he has the right team to facilitate him, right? He has the right aggression around him, and he's able to actually push his lead and catch his axes and catch out his adoration. So we just think that these two champions are really strong. We want to show everyone that we can play it at this point and that we're good at it.
And would you say, on a quick small side note there, would you say that Draven is a strong champion in isolation? Is it much more of a causation effect that now Sivir's come back in?
No, Draven is a strong champion in isolation. It's sort of like a double bonus that Sivir just happened to come back into the meta as well, because naturally Draven is a very good pick in Terra too.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's always great, getting a chance to listen to some of your insight there, Series, and pleasure as always. Wish you boys the best of luck.
Cheers, mate.
Well, there you go. Turns out it is the double up effect. Everyone's seeming to believe, or at least Order, adamant on the fact that Draven is now just one of the best on-patch ADs. It does present, as far as League of Legends is concerned, an extremely different playstyle to the normal. Draven is a high-risk, high-reward champion, which is why you wouldn't say it's often seen as like the forefront of the meta, because if you make a mistake, you fall behind, Draven's useless. But if you get ahead, it is overwhelmingly strong. So that is the trade-off here for most Draven teams. That coupled with, and as you heard from Series, you need to get the adoration stacks and the auto attack stacks up. So your team has to play around you. You have no choice. You have to play around the Draven. And so that means that top lane tends to exist. It doesn't have to. And you saw this from last game as a great example of this. It doesn't mean you have to gank bottom level 2. It just means you have to make sure that the Draven doesn't get constantly pounded down, actually gets protected. If the jungler of the enemy team goes bottom, you have to still keep your Draven alive. It could be devastating for the game state. But free time to move, free time to gank other lanes is exactly that.
Certainly is. You need the Draven to flourish, and you need to flourish by finding that first kill. Charm goes out. Double flash instantly as a response here from Order as they get first blood.
And you know they're committed. Look at the summoners of the mid lane of Direwolves right now as well. While he has the flash in hand, yes, it was really hard to react to that. He has Ignite. So he's gone for what we spoke about during Champion Select. He wants to be able to control the mid lane 1v1. Goodda says no to exactly that. Kisei will get the early kill. He'll be able to teleport back to mid, so nothing actually lost, everything gained in that mid 1v1.
Huge set of circumstances there to try and shut down or thwart any early attempts here from Simon to get excited on one of his most popular champions. as we continue to spectate the top half of the map, and rather Biopanfish has held this lane in a constant freeze at this one portion, and Zoranus is paying a big price as a health sacrifice.
Everything going quite nicely here for the side of Order. Again, in stark contrast to what we saw from them yesterday, which was incredibly passive, incredibly slow gameplay. We've gone for the Draven Leona. We're holding a freeze in top, but we're all inning mid-level 3 as well. We are looking for those kills. We are hunting for those kills. And just like Direwolves want to do, they're going to do it one step faster.
They certainly are. And it certainly puts Kisei in a prime position, a champion that he is very familiar with, one that will always stay true to my heart. Game 5 up against Chiefs in the grand finals, makes that heroic play with the ult of the Nard, jumps into the pit and steals it all. He's got that X factor, and it's been great to see that now 9 weeks in. And we said it only, what, a couple of weeks ago. Guro feeling a lot more at home here. He's been allowed to become the star of the show on more than one occasion.
It really has started to ramp up into the season, which is what Order were no doubt planning on in the first place, right? They lose Kebby to North America. Big Juve's taking him away. They needed time to readjust to having a new jungler in the team who fundamentally changed the way that they exist as a squad of 5 because the game was revolving around Kebby. No more. Guro was playing for the lanes. The lanes now get to play for their jungler, and it feels like the best version of Order that they can possibly be is starting to show its signs as we get towards the playoffs. Perhaps they do peak at the perfect moment come playoffs time. That will be yet to be seen. First and foremost, they want to try and lock in as high a position as possible in the standings to get there.
Certainly promising signs, though. And as you say, this really is that game. Not really a form check, but much more of an important idea as to where will that playoffs journey start, end, and ultimately flourish.
And you heard it from them as well. They just want to show they can play these champions. Like, they want to demonstrate that the playstyles they have are diversifying, and they're fully capable at all of them. Gudo suffering a pretty tough 1v1 here against the Drake. It's such an annoying Drake to take. Has got the smite though, so will get himself out in relatively short order. Plenty of threat in bot lane. Again, you pick Draven Leona, you're looking to have some threat down there. Sivir needs to be reserved with mana usage early, because you don't get that mana back with a good spell shield. So they start to get slowly bodied out. It's a war of attrition almost down there. You don't want to give kills to Draven, so it just becomes a passive let them push type of affair.
Draven
doing well though.
Yeah, no, certainly is. I was just going to say, Draven can certainly be very mana hungry, much like a Sivir, right?
Yeah.
When you're constantly spamming a W for the resets, the attack speed, the movement speed, even
if you
when
drop axes.
Drop the axe, absolutely. So hence why we do tend to see Essence Reaver come out second.
For sure. Especially because you are a Sheen champion, right? I think that's a big difference between a Sivir and the Draven, right? Draven wants to be hitting that single target with the damage amplification of the Q, so Sheen's really valuable, which is why Essence Reaver is such a nice pick for him. But Sivir hitting the first target isn't necessarily someone that will always gain from having a Sheen over another item, whether that is a faster Infinity Edge, whether it's a Phantom Dancer for more attack speed, Last Whisper, Armor Pen, because you're hitting everybody, not just the closest target.
Are you glad, though, at least that we've gotten rid of, I suppose, the Dark Harvest Lethality Boomerang build that was plaguing us with Sivir for such a long time?
Oh yeah, the next step is to get rid of AP Misfortune and AP Ash. Or if they do exist, just make them AD carries, not supports.
You just have to change the ratio, surely. Make sure
Hold
that they
this
can't
ratio.
go into it. That's it, L plus ratio plus you fell off. That's how you'll fall off into a D tier. 40% win rate.
Riot doesn't actually nerf champions. They just tweet L plus ratio plus you fell off.
Can you imagine?
No one plays it anymore.
Balancing team just crack it up. Zoranus here has become a big dragon and is running into the face of Bio, who's primed the kegs and ready to go to answer back to try and trade a health evenly, but it wasn't truly matched. Another Flame Breath will be matched by eating some oranges.
Super frustrating to deal with though, isn't it? Shyvana just ult in lane is super annoying. Bot lane hard forcing.
Yeah, Bulldog has a flash
The
away.
ult.
The whirling death!
Oh,
Puma with the flash and the heal for the moves, the movement speed, and the prime position to guarantee a hit. And it was coming back for a kill.
Yeah, you can't fault him. Very well done with this Draven ult. The Whirling Death, like you highlight, he flashes to make sure that it bounces back towards him through Bulldog to get the kill. Knowing that the flash was already used by that Nautilus. Expertly done. Securing himself some early stacks, some early adoration down there in bottom lane after 80 CS. He'll have a boatload of money. That is best case scenario because that was just outright done in a 2v2.
That's an 8-minute mythic. I mean, this is unbelievable timing. The average we've seen has been, I want to say about 13 minutes in. Hyper accelerated. The quickest we have seen, obviously, will still be that Nami, which is, okay, its own special outlier. But right there, you see it. with a massive CS advantage and a huge adoration cash, and Puma's up by, what, 600?
Yeah, hasn't gone straight for boots or anything of the like, right? He's prioritizing the Eclipse purchase, and it's a massive item spike. I wouldn't be surprised, and you are seeing this, they're moving up towards the Herald. They want Poltron.
Oh, that's fantastic. Cannon Barrage to start things off, the Cyclone to lock them down afterwards, and then Kista to jump in, acting as an Ari to guarantee they'll find 1, 2, and make it look so easy.
And back towards mid-priority. Herald should be all but secured with most members dead here from Direwolves. Bulldog gone, Poltron gone, Biopanther being dove. Zoranus has Ghost. I mean, there's a chance that he just goes for him. Bio in a whole heap of trouble in this top 1v1, and it's just a result of Zoranus ulting off cooldown every single time. Still Order winning the map.
That's the big thing, right? And I don't think this is too uncharacteristic on what we've seen the form coming out of Zoranus recently. Is Suman's going to crack and try and go for that McKill. Oh, the Solar Flare gets Spirit Rushed through. The Ignite wasn't enough. Really, Suman needed one more rotation of those spells, but Kisei survives.
I don't see where the charm went from Suman, but all things considered, he actually used one of the ult stacks to dodge the Leona ult, which means that Kisei could play the minion wave to get himself out to safety. Really nicely done by Kisei. But it's the small details that actually do help him stay alive in that skirmish. Incredibly well done by Kisei. Good presence of mind from Corporal to stay. Boop.
He drops the reset as well, which is even better. So that is perfect, given the fact that you are a TP-less mid laner.
Yeah, 12 CS down with no teleport.
You're going to lose a big wave as a result too.
Can't ask for much more. Your Poppy's now going to show mid lane. And this is the jungler showing. Kisei's going to take the ult. I wonder if he uses it just to keep him away from the minion wave. That's a true alpha move. Only 3 range minions though, so probably not. In terms of objectives as well, you got Drake up in 5 seconds. Poppy showing mid does mean that he's not got time to flank. And it means that Gudo gets the inside track, the inline towards threatening this one. That and Puma, full Eclipse done.
Yeah.
Right, has done so for a while. Dante's going to be behind in items. I don't know if you can contest the Drake.
Surely it'd be crazy at this stage to want to look at that, right? Seaman, no ultimate, on cooldown. Bulldog, not level 6 yet to try and match that with the power that Corporal has. So this would seem crazy. Very far-fetched if Direwolves were to go for it. Surely you're content and just continuing to farm, allowing Zoranus to continue to push back Biopanther, and just saying, 3rd, perhaps even 4th Drake. Let's have a crack then.
Yeah, you do have to buy as much time as possible. The risk, of course, being that if you buy more time, you give more space, you open yourself to more risk. Biopanther, while he's been struggling in top, isn't going to lose the game, and your Shyvana's not getting Drake stacked. So this is still going really nicely for Order. However, for just a moment there, I thought maybe they make a play. Puma running low on mana, so it was certainly possible. But just still behind on items, right? Raw damage is going to be there.
Certainly not enough to answer back there, even if they try and hide in the bush and present a cheeky face check kill. Direwolves still hunting for that very first kill in this game, only 12 minutes in, but Order hitting their power spikes nice and early. 3 mythics complete. And okay, Kisei just knocks it back.
Screw that 1 melee minion in particular. Gonna die to the turret. Or. My man.
We were very invested in
no
that 1
stone
minion.
left unturned, right? The spectators were following
They
it,
were.
okay?
They were
they
along
took
for the
us
ride.
on that journey.
Just look how free Corporal has been, right? Just given the fact that Puma got ahead so early on, just to permanently roam and just back up Gudo, presenting plenty of kill threat and really looking to try and shut down Seaman too.
Absolutely, he's been super free to move around the map. Charge going to be confirmed. Kisei also going to get the money. And just protecting, like you said, it's not just Corporal free now, it's Gudo moving with him. That gives priority, it gives first move for Kisei, as he's able to hover the blue side jungle, and they're just bodying Direwolves out. To make the play here for Direwolves is really reliant on, one, having your Nautilus in the area. Is level 6 now, right? So can force those plays a bit more successfully. But you need to have the follow-up from an Ari who's just being pressured constantly. Look at that health trade.
That's just unbelievable right now. Kisei is without boots. He's opted for the Dark Seal. He knows he's got damage. He's in the face.
Everfrost ready. I mean, this is a dive. If Direwolves aren't prepared to counter this dive, Human's just in a lot of trouble. Might have to ult and flash.
Gudo's got flash as well. This is what happened to start off with that first blood. Backs away at the last moment, opting to dash across the wall and just continue to counter jungle.
They had to assume that Poppy's hovering the area, right? And they've got topside camps to take, so Just by process of elimination, Gudo putting his face in the top side of the map, he knows that this is all free to be taken, and there's going to be a controller that spots Poltron if he collapses, or a blue trinket instead. But you don't have to force the fight mid. No vision is sometimes a good thing. They play accordingly, and they'll still get played.
Certainly will. As we check in with Zornis once again. I mean, still, he is that saving grace right now, despite them not finding a kill. Constant pressure to buy a Panther. Yes, it's a GP. He'll be quite happy, you know, farming up a tree, opted for a coal. Happy days for him with the passive combined as well, but it just feels like this lane state has been permanently shoved up against him. We've seen the kill pressure there as well. And if they can find that first turret, perhaps that's an opportunity then for them to flip map states around, bring the Shyvana into a team fight, and then start to look at a next Drake, which is, what, 2 minutes away.
And one of the most annoying things about the Shyvana Gangplank matchup is that Shiv, like you just saw with the Twin Strike, is able to just take a keg out, right? Before the Gangplank can even use the keg to make some kind of play. It's in melee range, it's generally next to the minions. Shyvana sees you place it, just walks over, presses Q, takes it out, and removes a very key fundamental part of your kit, where at the same time is stacking up the Shyvana ultimate, which is an unstoppable 1v1 like you're seeing, ticks over to 11, and just relentlessly throwing them out. No keg allowed. Constant negative health trades.
Look at Luke. I mean, these kegs
That's
just don't
frustrating.
exist.
It is frustrating. Just spits at you.
Has to show a bit of restraint now, however, as Godo's popped his head into the top side of the map and denied the vision that Zornis had planted, and make sure that, hey, give my GP a chance to breathe here. Ultron back to base and picks up his first major item as well with the Chem Tank, so now has the tools and the ability to try and roam around and act as a Predator Rune augment as well.
Yep. Also, organically, I feel like mid's going to fall at this point, right? If Human ever leaves lane, mid's dropped. And he's an Ignite mid laner, so to leave mid lane is an effort, and it will take time, and as a result, that turret is destined to just drop. Probably a hair's breadth away at this point. And you've got constantly Gudo in the area, hovering, protecting, making sure that he's able to keep Kisei alive with Herald in hand as well. You don't realistically need to summon it for mid with how low it is. But you could just to secure it for sure. Yeah, you could even coincide it with the Drake spawning, right? Because that's up in 10 seconds. You could just summon Herald mid, play for the Drake. You've already got 2, so you get to threaten Soul Point, and if Direwolves contest you, you get a turret, and you just disengage the objective.
Few late resets here from the likes of Puma and Zornis, but they should be in here in time, as no major rush to start things up here. Vision denial being the aim of the game, as Kisei starts things off by claiming mid lane vision. And we may now be inviting that first 5v5 as all summoners are there and all mythics now online and ready to go.
Zornis, level 11, big Shyvana's, Human level 11, Ignite in hand, all summoners available. Kisei is going to hunt for the Shyvana. Herald's going to get summoned like we said. Fight's breaking out.
Everfrost goes out, and that means instant Dragon's Descent from Zornis on towards Kisei. Looking to try and remove him nice and early. Keep his Verdict is ready to go. He needs to charge that one up, but backs away at the last moment, decides not to use it. The Cannon Barrage is really used, but to not much effect, more so to poke on out, but Dire will still have a much healthier health bar. They jump on in, they look for the kill, and Corporal's just removed. Poltron's dead. Zornis and Kisei are still fighting on the flank, and in they go with the Ignite. They get that shutdown. Ari finally coming online. Direwolves find the 2 kills for nothing.
And it feels like a battle of attrition there almost. The strongest resolve, the longest standing will get the fight that they're after. It was Human holding his ult in both summoners for the longest possible time. Draven comes in with Wukong.
Gudo, you absolute weapon. Happy birthday. Eat your heart out. Smite on point.
I mean, you chuck in a Draven ultimate with the smite. He comes in invisible. It's hard to see. It's hard to predict. But out smites Poltron. Gets themselves the objective. Not sure if he had smite. I'd have to watch that one back. But we'll watch this fight again. First of all, Kisei goes on Zornis. Not confident in winning his 1v1, but seems to really want to commit to getting the Shyvana ult out early. But the rest of the team, first of all, gets knocked away by a Poppy ult, and Puma gets knocked up by the Draven, so he's not contributing. And then Gudo and Corporal come back, really limping back into this fight with half HP. No GP ultimate. Silas not providing too much just yet. He's honestly just sprinting at Zornis for no apparent reason. And the rest of his team's losing the skirmish. Human, as you saw, held his ultimate for all of that time till he saw an angle. Knows that a reset is there and is able to utilize that one. And just when you thought all of your good work nets you a Drake, along comes Gudo and gets himself a soul point.
Hits them with the burst condition and says, try and outsmite this one. Whirling Death and a smite button, and that was the difference maker. And that is huge in the context of that moment right there, because Order found no kills. They were wiped 2-0 clean, but they put themselves in a very early soul point condition still.
They certainly have. They've given them something to play for. They've given something Direwolves that need to respond to every 5 minutes until they either secure themselves a soul. They've denied every single Drake away from the Shyvana. Group as they might, try as they might. Zoranus has nothing yet. He's been playing his heart out, right? Has been controlling top lane, has kept Biopanther well and truly down at bay. But it's the rest of the team that needs to start to step up now. In saying that, Dante is going to start getting his items soon. Human is still getting there. They will have those tools, but the issue is that they are on that clock.
They certainly are, and you'd be kind of concerned right now if you check in with the overall CS and see that Kisei is farming up an absolute treat right now. We talk about star mid laners on the likes of Yuri and Tally up there in the fold of things as a storming. He is 225, and we're not even at 20 minutes.
And in saying that, like, while Zoranus is keeping up, so is Puma, right? So we've got insane farm in this game across a lot of the lanes, so they've had a free time, to say the least. That just presents a very big issue with not only are they farming well, they're going to be accelerated in items, they also have the win condition here on Order's side. Gangplank gets to keep up nicely, artificially, through using his Q on minions. So while he's behind presently, it's not going to be by much. The best case scenario for Direwolves is they get a second item for Dante before the Drake. It's really what you're going to be banking on. And this Ahri is going to be the secondary point of damage for them. So going for the Everfrost build is going to be a bit lacking in DPS overall, up until the point where Zoranus is comfortable enough to go for the off-AP tank build. But for now, he is pure tank.
Yeah, for the moment, he's going to start off with this one. You'd imagine Demonic Embrace is what's going to come out third, and combine that with a Frostfire as well as a Warmogs. That's a lot of HP converted into ability power as a result as well, and it really does allow you to be a bruiser, a tank, and an absolute carry threat as he descends into madness. Jumps straight into the belly of the beast that is this mid lane team fight, and cops every single ultimate the game has to offer. He runs away, but it claims a shutdown, and Order will be feeling robbed. They didn't get anything from that.
Direwolves still hunting here.
Certainly are. Everfrost goes out, Bulldog jumps in with a hook, and then Kisei removes him from the equation. Poltron jumps in with a charge against the wall, but Direwolves just don't have the resolve to answer back and answer with a kill of their own. Bio flashing over Parlay. He tries to hit the quickscope, but we're not playing Call of Duty. That's not going to be the kill. Seaman still cycling on through. Orbital Deception goes on out. And ultimately, Zoranus got two big shutdowns to get a double, to potentially now get himself a triple.
And he's just going to chase him down. It's a slow affair, waiting on the W. One auto attack is all it'll take, and Zoranus will lock down another. Kisei tries to thin the wave, but he's charmed.
He certainly is charmed underneath that turret. That would be another massive kill to find. Is it going to go to where to Shyvana? Another dragon comes. He's missed the flame breath.
He's still going.
He's dead.
Kisei gets the resets on the abilities, actually ends up getting a shutdown. Turret stands. And the mid laner of Order, we call him an X Factor for a reason. He does what no one else thinks of doing very often. We'll see this fight and how it starts one more time. Nautilus, such a pain to deal with as a carry like Draven that cannot dash away. Gets locked down by the inevitability of that ult. And while they do so much damage to Zoranus, it is a Warmog Shyvana who gets to just stand in fog at any time and heal that all back. Nice keg onto Dante. Charm missing. And at this point, the fight doesn't need to re-engage again, right? But Bulldog gets taken down. Poltron wants to have a crack. He's gone. And again, the fight can just stop. But Biopanther flashes forwards, banking on some kind of miracle crit. We're fighting again.
It's gone straight at the replay and into another big dub here for Order. They've got every single dragon this game has to offer. 23 minutes in, we've got an Ocean Soul.
And that's rough for Zoranus in particular. You know, it's rough for the Direwolves. They've got to deal with an Ocean Soul for sure. The advantage of their composition is they want to try and kill people relatively quickly through the Ahri charm, but anyone who's tanky on the side of Order, there's so many melee bruisers that are going to be skirmishing constantly. The Ocean Soul value is super high. I don't think they'll be upset with that being the Soul. And a 23-minute Ocean Soul at that. There is immense value, and a very early Elder Drake now going to be up on the card.
Crazy, considering that this team, or this matchup, has been the longest game of this entire split. They went, what, nearly close to 46 minutes, and that had our very first Elder of the split. And now we're going to have what will be another record, the earliest Elder, up at 28. crazy set of circumstances here. And as you highlight quite rightly, I mean, Kisei, Gudo, as well as Bio, going to be loving life with the Ocean Soul.
Without a doubt, they are. Also just means the job of Zoranus is a lot harder, right? You want to slowly harass them, use those big bombardments with your E when you're in dragon form, but if they're doing damage in combat, you're losing a lot of that value. Ocean Drakes as well, of course, contributing to that one quite nicely. Is working towards that Demonic Embrace now, and is not too far away.
No.
There'll still be a big spike. But who's going to stop Kisei? That is the question. Especially when he can become a dragon, huh?
I was going to say, he's gone for a very defensively minded build as well. Banshee's Veil into Zonia's too. I mean, it's essentially, as long as I can sustain, which he certainly can.
Yeah, he can.
He's going to be A-okay.
And it's all about just piling onto the Sivir, you know? Don't let the Sivir breathe. Don't let the Sivir auto-attack. Prevent Dante from existing. And you'll find real bliss in this game for Order. It is a case of good luck, Puma. You just have fun, buddy. And I guess like as a general check-in for the Draven, haven't seen anything to be super impressed by, right? But has done his job really nicely, can't complain. Is just being dealt with by a Poppy, by a Nautilus, by a Shyvana in your face. It's a hard life to be a Draven. But they got the 2v2 kills, right? Which is much improved for Order. I feel like that's something they don't often get anymore.
Oh, that's a really cheeky solo flare right there. It's not going to stun, but it definitely will interrupt the recall that Bulldog was teasing just outside of vision. What does it really net them, however? Because a Baron wouldn't be on the cards just yet, although they are pushing all 3 lanes.
Dials just will need to sit back once again, but yet again the time pressure starts to add up on them to be quite immense. Demonic Embrace done. Infinity Edge on the way for Sivir. More ability power actually being purchased by Suman this time around. It's not full utility, just has the Oblivion Orb for a bit of healing cut, which is nice to have. It's really important, obviously, in this game. Corporal, that is a deep-seated flank. If something were to happen, doesn't have a team near him. Draven, in fact, is currently mid. Order positioned very awkwardly if Direwolves were to collapse here. And Direwolves, they're collapsing
They
here.
certainly are. Straight water across the wall. They're going to punish Corporal. You should not be standing there, and rightfully so. There's a flash stun up against the wall. And he is just gone like that.
That's
Down for 30
really,
seconds.
yeah, really simple from Direwolves, Skimmy. They see a gangplank bottom, they see a Draven mid, they see people farming top, they see an opportunity to collapse, they find a Leona along the way. Really straightforward. Nautilus ult, of course, meaning it is a confirmed knock-up. Corporal has no reason to flash away. It's just locked down. The risk here is that you do lose a mid lane outer turret. Puma's going to try and staunch, though, Puffy's chest. And Direwolves aren't going to go for the Baron. They're not going to try and take any kind of 4v5 situation with just the support of Order gone. Nothing comes from it. Nice kill, though.
Just a nice later pick, isn't it? And they'll be happy at that on its own. But certainly not enough to try and snowball things out. Not enough for them to dare invite the invitation of a crazy Baron flip, especially when Elder is up in 2 minutes. Well, let's check in again, I suppose, with that total gold. It is Kisei with the bounty, the only one in the game. Been firing up an absolute treat. We checked in at 20 minutes and he was ahead of the curve. 300 CS, the most in the game at now 27. And rightfully so, top of the table there, close to 13,000 gold.
He was pulling further and further ahead of Human in that 1v1 specifically as well, right? 70-odd CS ahead of his direct lane opponent. He's going to put in so much work and is really showing why this Sylas right now is just such a powerhouse pick. And it was as simple as one gank into mid lane at level 3. Nets the Order. Nets Order, honestly, everything that they would need. Order still looking.
Cheeky solo flare across the wall. Not going to find anything, but it is going to be Direwolves now. They're going to try and trim out vision and just guarantee that Order aren't on it. Control walls being purchased, being utilized, and being cleared on out.
Order's still looking for the turn primarily. Not hunting too much for finishing the Drake unless it is actually just free. And I do think that makes a whole lot of sense, right? Just throw out the solar flares. Try and get the Gangplank ultimate as well out to pressure them and force them. And right now, because you've got an Elder up in 30 seconds, as well as the Baron about to be on the cards, this is where the map gets really dicey because this is where your wards are almost split in half. Or you're picking an objective and sacrificing another one. And the conversation gets more and more dicey. Where do you go? What do you do? What does it look like? Order, I do think, want to prioritize the Elder at all times. They're the Ocean Soul team that wants to fight, wants to have that sustain, so why not get extra damage with it? Baron is essential, however, for Order to finish this game if they want to stop Dante from clearing minion waves.
It's true, we did see what that meant yesterday in the game that Peace found when they were just able to trim the waves and infinitely stall things out. A few very interesting item spikes. Infinity Edge online now for Dante, but Gudo has the Black Cleaver to enable the likes of a GP and a Draven. Goes to Solid Flare. In jumps Zoranis, becoming a dragon, and looking to try and find that kill, but the Cannon Barrage is perfect. Instant disengage away, as Kissy says, I can do you one better, and he removes the dragon. Zoranis is dead, but Dante's found that kill. Now still, we're looking for more. Kissy goes golden for a little bit, and standing on top of his own fire, delivers the damage to allow Bio to come on through and act like that clutch sub with a parley, with a keg, with a flash on forwards. He's unable to find Dante, who's running for the hills.
And Kisse still with so many things available to him. Human waiting in a bush, lurking, seeing if he can find somebody. Dante going on the world's longest journey to stay out of vision if he wants to stay alive. But what isn't going to stay alive is the Elder Dragon. Human, no ult, no flash, no ignite. Contesting this. Easier said than done.
Well, Bio just went on the biggest trek trying to chase down Dante. Despite going back for base, actually opts into TP
Human's
to make
turn
sure
to
that
run.
Seaman can't do this one. So now we're just going from one side of the map to find the Teemo, catch the Teemo, and kill them.
We got like 10 seconds maybe till Human has ult. His best strat is probably just run into straight a line as possible. But guess who else has your ulti, huh?
We got to go fast.
And the turret.
Who can dash more? Well, ultimately, it's only going to end one way. A sour note and a conclusion here as Seaman falls down for a minute.
And that basically does secure the Baron on the backside of this. We'll see the fight again. It's quite simple from Order, but really nicely executed. They sit in a bush where they know Direwolves have no vision. They use the Everfrost. They use the Gangplank ultimate as well as the Draven ultimate. And they just deal damage to the Direwolves. The forthcoming part of this fight is Kisse stealing the Shyvana ult and just becoming a really damage-heavy Shyvana. Just spitting fire absolutely everywhere.
You just see Poltron there just flashing and saying, protect the AD carry at all costs. I will die and make sure that you can run away. It may just be as simple as this though, Rusty. From Elder to Baron, Direwolves cannot do much because they don't have a mid laner for another 10 still.
Yeah, and the ADC's gone bottom, full knowledge that they're not going to contest the Baron. So dealing with an Elder and a Baron Order. I mean, again, Sivir now can no longer wave clear nearly as safely because there's kill threat and stronger minions. And Kisse's unleashed. He's an absolute weapon on the map right now. I'm shocked he didn't go straight for a Medjai's, but has the outright death cap because why not? I don't think anyone can really deal with him.
I don't think so. He is very close now to that Flame Horizon, a 100 CS buffer, which is huge.
Order are just praying for no Dante incident. I feel like I say this in every Sivir game, but we keep getting to post 30 minutes with the Sivir.
It's going to land on heads one of these days.
Eventually, it has to, right?
It goes out onto Corporal, not the target they're after, but they'll take it regardless. Fortune flashing across and knocking him right back in. The Cannon Barrage will do absolutely nothing, and the Keeper's Verdict will just run out.
I mean, that is exactly a pick that you're after. If once again, Corporal will die with summoners available. Is just face-checking death. Perhaps it is a mistiming on his part. Perhaps Direwolves have navigated vision really nicely. But a little bit more reservation to allow Direwolves to show on waves is really all Corporal needs. Direwolves, I don't think they particularly are happy about getting just the support though, and I don't think Order particularly care that they lost just their support.
Elder about to expire as well. Maybe that gives Direwolves the invitation to feel a little bit more confident to step up and try and contest these waves being pushed and crashed. No inhibitor fell down. That's the most notable thing for me though.
Yeah, they open the base up, however, through mid lane, so it's one of those situations where minions aren't going to be naturally always pushing towards you with super minions there. So it's not going to be funneling everything to Dante, but at the same time, one lost teamfight, Direwolves lose the game. Because now there is just an open inhibitor. And a whole squad of cannon minions to try and take this turret a little bit faster.
Yeah, Zona's doing his best to try and trim that and really control the lane as best they can. Still another minute they need to really survive. Hunker down.
Straight up doesn't care, hey.
He's level 18.
Just watch him stand in front of 4 people. Just whatever.
Just come at me.
It's whatever.
I have Ocean Soul. I could have a Medjai's. It is there now.
This should be a free turret. I don't think Direwolves have any right contesting this.
Order on a perfect flank right now. Both, Gudo and Corporal flanking him from the side. The Solitaire doesn't land on anybody after Dante. Dante's just gone. He's just been locked in too much CC. Cycle into a keg and you're just gone. That's a shutdown. That's a perfect kill. And it's a perfect way to end and shatter the dreams of Direwolves. Trying to claim this all-important head-to-head bout to get that second spot. They're going to go golden, but the only gold they'll see is the one that Order hoist on up as they look to close out this game now.
It should be an easy closeout for them. Suman has 1 stack left on the ultimate, but no HP there. Bio just going to keep him at bay. Order should win
That Nexus to end this game. Seaman is zoned back to that fountain and really can't do much but become a passenger, a spectator, a precipitant in a demise. There it is, Order winning the head-to-heads and outright now second.
A nice little final team fight there, safe to say, from the squad of Order. Corporal, you could see a smile on his face. I think he's just happy to acknowledge that that was a pretty free ride. You know, team just took him on a journey to a win. He just gets to say thank you very much. We picked Leona Draven for lane. We got a kill in lane. What do you want from me? Dial was constantly picking on the Leona because that was the only person that they could feasibly kill. The rest of Order, just too strong.
Far too strong. Kisei, an absolute unit. Full tank, full DPS.
Just a fridge.
Just, yeah, just an absolute brick wall.
It really was. It's just, you know, from what I gathered, essentially that game, right? Order were playing against Direwolf's win condition. Their win condition was Zoranus get bloody huge, which he did, but he just didn't get any passive stacks of the MR, of the armor, so he became that much more killable, and every time they killed him, Direwolves just crumbled around him, right? You could see there were a few fights where Order kind of forgot that even though Shyvana hasn't got too much AP yet, when she's in ult, she just chunks with those E's and was just dishing damage. I'm actually keen to see the scoreboard at the end just to see how much damage Zoranus managed to put out. I'm just, you know, Shyvana fan through and through, so of course I'm going to talk about it. But at the same time, you know, shout outs to Goodo for plays like that, stealing the drag, getting that soul real early on, just stopping any chance of an Ocean Drake and Ocean Soul at all for that Shyvana, which would have just hurt as well. You've also, look, that one would definitely work out with the Nautilus. It'd work out with the Poppy as well. But then in terms of like the team fights, Order were just all over it.
I mean, the real highlight for me in this game is the mid-jungle of Order, where we did see them getting an early kill onto Sumo, where it kind of just snowballed into a lead, where we see, I believe it's Kisei having well over 10 CS per minute. I think it's absolutely insane that you can have so much CS on a Sylas, where usually you want to just be fighting all the time, so I don't know where he found all this CS. And yes, Goodo did deny the Dragon Soul point, which is also really important, where they just obtained every single objective over the map, and they just did so much damage in these team fights.
And Seaman kept up as well, 21.7k, but who is it? It's Bio right up top, just barely edging out in the lead in terms of that damage, 23.9k in total. I guess, is that inflated though because he was hitting like a brick wall?
Yeah, he had a big target.
Yeah.
I need to go on my little rant. So Poppy is on her second loss today. I believe before we started this week, we had a stat check-in where she had 25% win rate on the new patch.
100% presence.
She just lost twice once again. So the OC team should probably stop picking Poppy. Like, yes, it might work in other regions, but for OS, it doesn't seem to do so hot, especially when you are behind and you can't get that early lead where you need on Poppy, because Poppy, you need those health items so you are able to live just a little bit longer, so you are able to do a little bit more in those team fights, but it's just not happening, and the damage is
sad.
Yeah, a little bit sad. Like there's moments of, you know, greatness when you see that ult sort of having a couple of moments, but I feel like every time we see a good ult from Poppy, there's never any follow-up. It's like, cool, we got a quick 4v5, no one ever goes in. It's like, cool, we did the ult, and then the team doesn't want to fight, walks away, waits for that fifth person to just walk back, and then does what they were going to do anyway. And that's a very common trend here, at least that I'm noticing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like Wukong still feels really broken in these team fights.
I mean, Wukong does what Poppy and another champion effectively do, right? Like, is self-damage, is engage, is basically everything that a team comp could want. In one champion in the jungle role is also really hard to kill and clears relatively healthily, where Poppy needs another engage source on the team or another tank source on the team to make what she does work.
Right.
And you don't pick Poppy for damage, so you have to have a reliable damage source with it.
Yeah, which I guess there was in the comp. Either way, we do have one familiar face to bring back on the broadcast. We got Corporal, winners are grinners. I see a big smile on your face. How you feeling after that one?
Hi, good. I mean, I don't know who decided to put me in the interview because I think most of my Leonards, I pretty much had my monitor off when I threw them. So thank you to whoever let me get this interview. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm sure whoever made you want to interview also had their monitor off because they didn't see those Leonards because they don't exist. Because in the
I hope
very
so.
end, you still grabbed the win above Dials, and I believe that puts you guys ahead in the head-to-head where you guys are just this much closer to being second. So how are you feeling, and how are you feeling for the playoffs?
This much closer, we are second, aren't we?
You aren't locked in second, but you can potentially be second now that you have the head-to-head.
Oh right, yeah. You mean? I thought you meant for now. Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much locked in. Like we're versing what Kanga and Kanga and Mammoth. Like how can they even beat us? Like,
Oh,
Ooh.
look. I'm a bit of an Order fanboy, but I'm starting to become this Kanga fanboy. I don't know. Kanga's doing crazy things. It's like don't knock it till you try it. Just, wait until you do play Kanga next week, because that one could get interesting. Although I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy for you guys just to absolutely smash them back to where they came from, middle of Australia. But at the same time, talk to me about the win condition today. Was it just play for drags? Don't let Zoranus get too big, which he still got big, but he was killable, right?
okay, yeah. Sorry. First of all, before I say this, happy birthday, Kitty.
Oh,
Sorry, I
thank
didn't say it
you.
earlier. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And sorry, Mac, for your question. I think the game plan was just the enemy team picked Sivir, and we knew as soon as they picked Sivir, if we have Draven and just any other champion that facilitates the team comp, then I don't think they can win. We just split the map, and then they no longer play the game. I think we misplayed the first few waves by not getting a big enough lead against Sivir. But I mean, when you have Draven into Sivir, they just have to concede everything. So our game plan was just take every objective. They
It
can't do
seems
anything.
like a lot of teams really prefer the Draven into the Sivir. We've seen that twice for tonight. And as we settle in our spots for the playoffs, which team other than the Chiefs is kind of worrying for you guys as they can potentially contest you?
I mean, I guess the obvious answer is Pentanet, but I don't know. They're really weird because sometimes they look like the worst team in the league, and then other times they look like contenders for the top spot. But I don't know. I feel like PGG is just so mediocre. And I think I know we lost them, but I'll expose them in the playoffs. Don't worry about that.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that happening. But for now, congratulations on locking in a playoff spot. It be it second, be it fifth. But let you go. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. You too. See ya.
Bye. Do you like that ending? Just when I say bye after they've already gone. It's I do that on Discord all the time. Someone will leave and they'll say bye, and I hear that doo-doo, and I'm like, bye. I just say it,
I just found the
throw it out
ending
there.
from the support was just spicy. It's something about the supports we have in this region. He's like, they're just overrated. Rogue's saying they're overrated. Everyone's just like,
They're mediocre.
they're just mediocre. Who cares?
That's what it is, right? Now, Dare MVP discussion. Who popped off the most? Was it another Wukong?
Kisse for me.
Kisse
Kisei?
was
Flame
a
Horizon,
fridge.
absolute
I just
fridge.
wanted to say jungler in there.
Fisher and Pike will eat your heart out, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kisei?
Yeah, I'm good with Kiss.
Beautiful. Their MVP for game number 3 of the day was your boy in mid lane, Kisei. Don't sleep on him. 5-1-7 with 75% KP. And just doing so much
size
work.
bed, mate.
31% of the damage. What's up? King size bed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a fridge.
He certainly is.
Large.
Did you buy it for him?
No, dude.
Memory
just
foam
check.
mattress, of
Found it on
course.
the-
By the way,
mediums.
guess what this means?
Only the highest quality.
Now,
Kisse.
he's got another MVP because he's been popping off. He's now tied in first with Aladoric. So congrats, Kisei, for being up in the lead. And it's not just a one-horse race
And
anymore.
offer as well.
I think Arthur's one
Yeah,
behind.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Five.
also 5.
There
Yep.
we go. So three-way race at the moment, all the way up top. And what's the next game? PGG? No. So
Gravitas
yeah, no
and
one can
PGG.
catch back up in the next game in terms of these Dare MVPs. But that game will be an interesting one to see. How I guess it's like, can PGG just show how good they are right now and make it look clean, or can Gravitas actually pick up the pace, do something creative, and sort of stick it to whatever PGG throws at them?
I really enjoy the Mammoth approach because they're kind of just playing everything. Where I want to see that for Gravitas as well, which hopefully we will get the next game.
We certainly will, because that next game is coming up just after the break. Ladies and gents, don't go too far. Gravitas up against PGG for the final game of the week, coming up after the break.
Human holding his ult in both summoners for the longest possible time. Draven
Oh
comes in
my
with
god,
Wukong.
Good, are you absolute weapon. Happy birthday, eat your heart out, smite on point.
Hey, look, menu pong.
Am I bot?
No.
No.
Am I Sona?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I asked you if she has pigtails.
Is it on a skin, like the Greek skin?
She has pigtails in every single skin.
Really?
I don't know.
Except for
I don't know,
man.
Sona.
I don't know.
Except for Mew.
Of
She's
course.
literally Hatsune Miku.
That's the one that Kitty
What?
gets hung up on.
I'm so
They didn't
mad.
clarify anything.